Warren, what qualities did you have in that match that you haven't had in the previous sequence against Australia?
Oh, I think that we've learnt from those experiences. I thought our composure last week was pretty good, and then today, the composure towards the end was good. There was no composure from me. I was struggling the last few minutes. I thought, here we go, deja vu. We're going to lose in the last minute. But in fairness to the boys, they dug deep, and we probably from a defensive point of view, it's probably the most comfortable that I've felt playing against Australia from a normally with them the pace and intensity and runners and there's threats all over the place, but I thought we did a really good job and looked pretty comfortable without the ball and for long periods, so that was really pleasing.
Warren, I know you told us that it wasn't a monkey on your back, but does it feel like you've got a monkey off your back now?
Yeah, I don't. We've spoken, I think, in the last couple of years about what we're trying to do in terms of the plans and leading up to the World Cup, and we feel like we've followed through on everything that we said we were going to do. And the squad's in a great place at the moment. Some real competition. There's players that are disappointed they're not in the team, and we think we're going to be building really nicely for the next 10 months. So, and that's good. The boys have worked hard at training. We pushed them really hard the first couple of weeks. Backed off a little bit this week. So yeah, I think we're in a good place, and it's always nice to get that win against a Southern Hemisphere team, so there's a bit of pressure on the guys that'll take the field next week against Tonga, and I think we'll hopefully give ourselves another good performance.
Will it be 15 different guys against Tonga?
Yeah, probably. I think we'll make a lot of change, and I think that's because we feel pretty comfortable about the depth that we've created in the competition within the squad. And I know that it's something that we've for a long time, I probably didn't always get that right. Was we have made those changes and against a sort of a tier 2 nation when we've played in the autumn, and often that performance has been really poor. We've snuck home and won those games pretty ugly sometimes. So, and that, that's we've struggled with the depth that we've had in the squad, but we felt like we've created that at the moment, and I think the players that take the field next week will give a great account of themselves.
What was the injury news on Lee Halfpenny and George North, and your view of the challenge on Lee?
Lee Halfpenny's got an HIA, so he has to go through the protocols of that during the week. George North had a dead leg. Tom Francis had a bit of a back strain, so we knew that at half time, so we made that change pretty early. And I just thought the incident on Lee Halfpenny, I thought was reckless. I thought it was a penalty or potentially a yellow card. I think he's gone. He's going to make contact with him because he's gone to charge the ball down, but he's kept that shoulder in that position, and I asked whether he could have, turned his back or put an arm out or something like that to soften the blow. So I think everyone can make up their own opinion on what they see. The hard thing for Lee is he's got to go through the protocols in terms of return to play, which. It's disappointing from that point of view, but we'll make sure that he's right.
Well, are you worried about the consistency of those sorts of calls? You see a lot that are given.
No, not worried about the consistency of that. So it's a tough job out there for a referee. I was at the referees meeting and coaches meeting in London during the week, and we'll some good debate and discussion about the game and player welfare and looking after the players, and I just think it's a tough game to referee and tough game to get things right. So if the referee puts his hand up and says he's made a mistake, then I'm happy enough with that. I spoke to Wayne Barnes. He was on the touch line last week against Scotland, and I felt the first penalty against Nicky Smith was a wrong call in the scrum, and I just said to Wayne, "Can you have a look at that for me?" And we had a chat on Wednesday and said, yeah, I got it wrong. I'm happy with that sort of stuff. So it does look, it's a tough game to ref, and but I did feel that was reckless in terms of that challenge.
Warren, you talked about the bench on the week.
Yeah.
Obviously, kicked when you can't see again been on the Muslim. Please will get back to this time.
Yeah, I thought the bench was outstanding. I thought the bench gave us, Alice Jenkins was great. Corey Hill came on. The two front rows, I thought Thomas Williams looked really dangerous as well at 9, and Dan coming on and having to kick a pressure kick to give us the win. I didn't think I'd ever see the day when Lee Halfpenny missed 2 kicks in front of the post. So, but hopefully that's his monkey off his back as well. So. Yeah, look, he's what he's like in terms of he's so focused, and I wasn't worried about him missing the kicks. It was making sure that didn't affect the rest of his game, and he came out in the second half, and his performance was outstanding. He ran really well, he looked dangerous, and that was a pleasing aspect. I think in the past he may have. If he'd missed a kick like that, then his game would have gone to the pieces as well. But so, world-class players don't let that happen. They shrug off disappointments, and they can't change it, and they carry on with what's in front of him. And he did that, and it was a really good performance in the second half. I thought our midfield defended outstandingly well, and to me, I thought Josh Adams was the man of the match. I thought he was just absolutely brilliant on the wing.
In terms of man of the match, you said always needed a breakthrough beforehand and the back against how would you describe just in performance?
Yeah, it was good. Look, the breakdown was tough from both teams, and we knew that we had to be effective against Pocock and Hooper because of how much they compete on the ball. Probably in the first half we weren't dominant enough on some of the collisions, and we spoke about that at half time and fixed that, and we had to fix a little bit of line speed defensively in the second half, particularly when they got to an edge, and we were much better in the second half, and the bench gave us some real impetus as well, which was pleasing. And I said to the players yesterday, from my whole time in Wales, that today was the strongest bench that we've put out, and sometimes you might have been looking for the bench to have some impact or continuity, but that bench definitely gave us some real impact today. Just his accuracy, he made some really good decisions. He ran hard, chased hard, defended exceptionally well, and he looked dangerous with the ball in hand. So, and it's particularly that's why last year he was a top try scorer in the Premiership, and the next step is to get him back to Wales.
Final question, please.
Just how big was this one in terms of momentum, not just for the rest of the autumn series, but looking ahead to the Six Nations and the World Cup?
Yeah, I think, look, we've said in the past that we haven't always been the greatest starters in campaigns, and the more time that we have together, the better we get. So having that game last week against Scotland, if we had played Australia last week, I don't think we would have won that game, but having that game when you haven't been together for 4 months playing one of the top teams in the world, it's tough first up. So that game was good for us, and it definitely improved our performance for today. So look, there's some real momentum at the moment. I think, I don't know how many in a row. That's 7 in a row, I think. Yeah. So that kind of brings something with it as well. So. A bit of pressure because the players who are taking the field next week know they've got to go out there and perform, and there's a lot of stake in the next 10 or 12 months in terms of Six Nations, World Cup places, some real competition in the squad, and so yeah, we feel like we're in a really good place as a group, and we're really looking forward to the next the next year.